Hi all, I'm Al Deldegan, the creator and producer of the Libby podcast. This 100% volunteer-run show was born out of the Rainforest Alberta movement and features incredible people who are leaders, innovators, and have big ideas. This episode is hosted by Rea Hailley, and it is the third episode of her new series. Today, her guest is Megan Chambers. Take it away, Rea.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rea Hailley, and I'm the co-founder of New Idea Machine. We help business owners cut subscription costs and grow revenue with custom app development. Welcome to 5 questions and 1 wild story, fempreneurs to watch for. Today's fempreneur to watch is Megan Chambers, and I'm so excited to talk to her. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you, Rea. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be on 5 questions and 1 wild story.
Awesome. Okay, here's the first question. What do you do and why is it important?
Great first question. So I am a lawyer by trade. So I have founded Megan Chambers Law. So I work on wills and estates and also on corporate and business law. So what I do is important because both aspects interact with so many day-to-day aspects of our lives. Wills and estates, everybody needs a will. Everybody has an estate, whether they think they do or not. And businesses run our country. I work almost exclusively with small businesses, and they are really the backbone of our economy.
I agree. I feel like we can have a whole other talk just about small businesses.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay, now, how many times have you wanted to quit being an entrepreneur, and what kept you going?
Does every day count? I laugh because I think of those reels that I've seen on Facebook and Instagram where somebody asks, how is being a business owner going? And the person's pretending to chop off their hand or something like that. And then they're like, oh, no, just kidding. But I think what keeps me going is the fact that I absolutely love what I do. Even when imposter syndrome creeps in and I'm worried about if I'm doing the right things or if I am going to be good enough or if I can serve my clients in the way that I want to, what ends up keeping me going is the fact that I get a client who comes in and says, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful. Like, I didn't know where to turn. I didn't understand what was going on, and you made that clearer for me. People are really the backbone of my business, and if I didn't have the clients that I had, I don't think I could keep going.
Yeah, I hear you there. Okay, and what surprised you the most about becoming an entrepreneur?
I think the biggest thing that surprised me was how many hats entrepreneurs wear. I really didn't think that I was going to be my social media team, my marketing team, my sales team. When I started Megan Chambers Law, I was like, okay, I am good at what I do. I know the law. I know how to work within it. And that's it, right? Like, just I'm good at what I do. And then getting into actually doing the business side of things. And I see this all the time with my entrepreneurial clients now is you get into it because you love what you do or you're good at what you do or you don't want to work for somebody anymore when you know how to do what you're doing. And there's so much more. There's finances, there's keeping track of the books, there's just everything. And so I think that was what surprised me the most, was just how much there is to do with running a business besides the legal requirements.
Yeah. I know. That's been my biggest surprise about entrepreneurship as well. I knew it was going to be hard. I knew I would have to wear many hats, but nobody can really prepare you for what's coming until you do it yourself. But I always say it's like becoming a parent. You can read all the books you want, but you're never prepared. You only learn on the job.
100%. And I'm not a parent myself, but I know several people who are. And it's even like the first kid to the second kid, right? Like it changes. So just like kids, every business is different. Even if you've ran a business before, it's not going to be the same running a different business. And they all have their own quirks and intricacies and attitudes and everything. And I really like that analogy, that it is very much like becoming a parent, because that business becomes your baby, right?
Yes, it does. All right. What are people most surprised to learn about you?
I think people are most surprised to actually learn that I'm a lawyer, which is funny because that is my profession. But I do get a lot of comments saying, oh, I thought that you would be older. I thought that you wouldn't have tattoos. I thought that you wouldn't have color in your hair, because usually I have some sort of color in my hair. And I think that for me, it's really that I'm breaking some of the stereotypes about what being a lawyer and looking like a lawyer really is. So I think that's one of the things that surprises people the most. But in my business itself, I think it surprises people how easy it is to understand the law when it's the right person telling you what's going on, or explaining or talking it through with you, because things can seem really overwhelming until you have that right team member looking out for you to explain those things.
Yes. And I think we all need a really good lawyer that has our back, because it's just business. My goodness, I feel like we've reached out to lawyers many times over the past few years for contracts, mostly contracts, and advice on how to best structure the business and move forward. And I can't imagine a business moving forward without a lawyer. I think you would leave yourself open to so many potential lawsuits that you need to have an expert in your background, or that you're protecting you and guiding you.
For sure. And that's really what I pride myself on, is being in someone's corner. Once you hire me, I'm there, ride or die, trying to move you and your business forward, whether that is contracts, business organization, just looking at like a legal audit of your business to say, these are where your risks are. And a lot of people don't even recognize that. People will use contracts drafted by ChatGPT. ChatGPT is great for some things, not for contract drafting, unfortunately. Not yet anyways. And just like acknowledging what the risks are and where they can pop up that you may not have thought of before, because I live and breathe contracts every day, whereas somebody in an entrepreneurial business may have only had one contract, or they may have only seen their previous employment contracts and never had one themselves, so they don't know what part of the business they need to protect in those employment agreements. So it's definitely helpful to have somebody on your side who has experience in those areas.
Yes, definitely. Like many businesses, we have mutual non-disclosure agreement, the master services agreement, and then the scope of work. And I can't tell you how many times we get people saying, can I just change this a little bit? Can I just take out this part? And of course, now I know the lawyer put it in there for a reason. So do not
100%.
mess with that contract, because it may seem like it's innocent enough. But again, it's there for a reason. You never know what's going to happen down the road. And you need to protect both yourself and your client. And so it's a two-way street, right? Like you want to make sure that everyone's protected so you can keep that relationship positive.
Totally. And contracts are amazing for setting out the terms of the agreement and making sure that when something goes awry, there's a way to solve that problem.
Yes.
I counsel my clients as much as possible to avoid court. And one of the best ways to avoid court is to have a great contract at the start. The amount of handshake deals that you cannot resolve until it becomes a he said, she said thing at court, because there's no evidence of what the agreement was. Mm-hmm. It's definitely much easier, much cheaper to start with a good contract. I often say to clients, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And legal fees are a very expensive pound of cure. So better to get those legal fees paid up front, get a good contract, and not have to worry about it in moving forward.
Yes. And being an entrepreneur is stressful enough. The last thing you want to deal with is a legal problem.
For sure. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And I can tell you a lot of my clients, when I was doing litigation, would also agree.
Yes. Okay. So Next question. What advice would you give other female entrepreneurs?
The first thing that pops into my head is, and I apologize for my language, is just do the damn thing. I think that especially as female entrepreneurs, we know that the rates of imposter syndrome are higher in females. We know that females are less likely to reach for something that's tough or scary because they're not as, I don't know the right word, but like men are willing to apply for positions that they don't even meet the full criteria for. Whereas women are like, oh, I better check all these boxes and exceed them. Otherwise, I'm not going to get the position.
Yes.
And so maybe it's saying that women don't have the audacity that men do sometimes, but just doing the damn thing. If you have a business idea and you're passionate about it and you know you want to do it, and you know you're going to be good at it, or even if you don't know that you're going to be good about it, just jump in. The universe will look after you. I think that it's important to make sure that you're doing what makes you happy, and nobody has it figured out 100%. Absolutely nobody has it figured out 100%. And there's going to be struggles and there's going to be ups and downs, but that's why you get the right team members to support you, to love on your business with you, and to make sure that you're gonna succeed. I really think that we just need more people willing to take that jump.
Agreed. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to push myself out of my comfort zone and to do these mini podcast series, because I thought, okay, there's far too many women. They may have taken that leap and started something, but they're certainly not being vocal about it. And we need them to start being vocal about it and tell the world what they're doing so that we can support them.
100%. And I actually got like advice from one of my mentors that when I was debating doing like social media, trying to get out there, all of that sort of stuff, he's like, just do the damn thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have this curated Instagram feed. You'll see me all the time. I pop into my stories or my reels. And like yesterday, I made a reel of me just working and what it would look like to be an initial consult with me. Because what's the loss that's going to come out of that? Nothing, really. Maybe I look silly on Instagram. But what could come out of it is that there could be some client who is looking at that Instagram reel and going, oh, I thought going to a lawyer would be completely different. Now I feel comfortable with the idea of at least going for the initial consultation and starting that. So you never know who you're going to attract, but if you don't ask, if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to find them.
Yes, agreed. And what I really love about you, Megan, is that you're very approachable. And I've met some lawyers, they're very wonderful human beings, but I didn't get that vibe from them, that they're very approachable. Usually they're in their very posh offices, in their suits, and certainly not on Instagram, showing people what it's like to have a consult with them. So I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and that's something that I pride myself on, and that is very like core to my vision of Megan Chambers Law is to be approachable, to be understandable, to be person first, no nonsense. You're paying me to make your experience the best that it possibly. I'm in a client service industry. As much as people don't think that law is, without my clients, I have nothing. And I want to see their businesses succeed because also for selfish reasons, if they succeed, they're going to come back to me, have more money to pay me to help make their businesses better on the legal front. But also it's just really genuinely satisfying when you help somebody and you can see them grow. I absolutely love when my clients share like success stories with me. And this is great. I absolutely love it.
That's awesome. I know we do a bit of a happy dance ourselves when our clients succeed because we take everything so personally.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so what's your one wild story?
Oh, okay. I had a couple that I was debating between, and I think that I'm going to go with the time I got hit by a unicorn. So it doesn't put me in the best of lights, but it's also a funny story. When I was young and reckless in first year university, I lived in the Lister campus at the University of Alberta. So there's 4 towers. Each tower has its own tower competition. They, once a year, each floor in the tower will compete for ultimate supremacy in that tower, depending on what competition it is. They all have different names. But there's different competitions within it. There's like a dodgeball tournament and like a scavenger hunt and a whole bunch of different things. And so I lived in Lister for 4 years, so I saw my fair share of random challenges. I once ate an entire head of garlic all by itself. Not a good idea. Don't do that. But you try it for the points, right? But so one of these tower competitions, the year before I was in first year, I had a competition to build your floor's mascot. And one of the floors, their mascot was a unicorn. And so being made up of a bunch of different people in different programs, because you're not grouped by what program you're in university, just that you're in the university. I guess this floor had a lot of engineering students. And they were like, we're going to build our unicorn out of metal, a metal sculpture. And so this was like life-sized unicorn. They put it on wheels and they won that challenge, of course, because you make something out of metal that's size of a horse, like you're going to win. And so my introduction to this unicorn was I was going to a party on a different floor and somebody had stolen this mascot and brought it down on the elevator to this other floor. And they turned all the lights off, put the disco ball on, like a real vibe going on. And because it's on wheels, people were sitting on it and spinning it around and seeing if they could stay on it like a bucking bull at a pub or something. And so I come to the floor, I see my best friend that I came to visit, and I ran across to go see her. It's dark. And the next thing I know, I'm on the floor because the unicorn had hit the back of her head, had hit mine. And then the unicorn bounced over top and fractured the zygomatic arch of the person that was behind me. Funnily enough as well, all 3 of us were on the varsity curling team. So our coach was real mad. But yeah, got a concussion, but I can tell people that I got hit by a metal unicorn. So that's my wild story, is that I got hit by a metal unicorn.
I think that is definitely the wildest story I've heard to date. And oh my gosh, like how not only get hit by a metal unicorn, but get a concussion.
Yes.
Like a multi-person injury.
Yep.
My gosh. And
yeah,
it's funny that you're in law because like, I wonder if anyone went, hey, wait a minute. Everyone has to sign release waivers to make sure nobody comes back and sues us.
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked that the university didn't do more. I think they took away the statue, and like the urban legend in Lister was that they had melted it down. I don't know if that's what they actually did, but that it was no longer allowed to be on residence property after taking out 3 members of the varsity curling team in one foul swoop. I'm sorry I ruined their fun, but it's my little wild story.
I think they ruined your fun too.
A little bit, yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Megan. And thanks everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Megan as much as I did. And if you're a fempreneur, please reach out. I'd love to speak to you.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Why not become a podcast host yourself? Libby is a community podcast, and we would love to have your voice as a host or a guest. Check out show.libby.ca for more information, show notes, and links for every episode.
This episode is brought to you by New Idea Machine, a unique blend of a tech incubator and a software development powerhouse. We're not just building software, we're crafting the next generation of homegrown tech wizards. Got a project in mind or looking to hire fresh talent? Reach out and let's make tech magic happen. Visit newideamachine.com for more info.
Music for the show was created by Tony Deldegan.